14th edition of Asia's largest aero show continues in Bengaluru. 251 MoUs worth 75,000 crore rupees expected to be inked for partnerships today. Annual Defence Innovation Event Manthan held today. Raksha Mantri presides over the events. Twelfth World Hindi Conference underway in Fiji. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar says attention is on all aspects of Hindi language and its global use. The minister to also hold bilateral meetings with new leadership of Fiji. UN aid convoys deliver vital assistance to northwest Syria as death toll from last week's catastrophic earthquake exceeds 41,000. UN launches appeal for $397 million to aid earthquake victims in Syria. NATO defense ministers meet in Brussels to discuss new arms provisions to Kiev, says will step up and sustain our support for as long as it takes. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says battles are literally for every foot of Ukrainian land. Says situation on the front lines in Donetsk and Luhansk remains particularly difficult. And in the T20 Women's World Cup, India to play against West Indies today. India beat Pakistan in their first match, while West Indies faced defeat against England in their first match. Hello, you're watching DD India and I'm Preeti presenting this edition of the news. Our top story first. The 14th edition of Asia's largest aero show, Aero India 2023, is underway in Bengaluru. The flagship technology showcases the annual Defence Innovation Manthan, and this event was held in Bengaluru. The Manthan platform brings the leading innovators, startups, MSMEs, incubators, academia and investors from defence and aerospace ecosystem under one roof. Raksha Mantri presided over the event. He also announced the launch of Defence India Startup Challenge, that is DISC 9. Addressing the gathering, Rajnath Singh said the country is supporting youth in their endeavours to bring out innovative ideas from them.
आज हमारा देश युवाओं को अगर कुछ नया सोचने और कुछ नया कर दिखाने के लिए सपोर्ट कर रहा है, इसका कोई छोटा मतलब नहीं है। इसका बस यह मतलब नहीं है कि हमारे युवा अपने पैरों पर खड़े हो जाएं। इसका मतलब बस यह भी नहीं है कि हमारे युवाओं को रोजगार मिल जाए और वे कुछ रोजगार औरों के लिए भी पैदा कर सकें। कुछ है जो इन सबसे भी महत्वपूर्ण है, जिसे हमारे देश को तलाश है, और वह महत्वपूर्ण चीज है हमारे युवाओं के भीतर से एक जेम्स वाट, एक न्यूटन, एडिसन, आइंस्टीन, सीवी रमन, जेसी बोस या डॉक्टर होमी जहांगीर भाभा को खोज निकालना, जो इतिहास की धारा को मोड़ सकें और मानवता को कुछ नई और मीनिंगफुल चीज दे सकें।
Giving the mantra of design our destiny, the defence minister said that through resolve and dedication, India can become the world's top economy and also superpower in science and technology.
होना चाहिए डिजाइन अवर डेस्टिनी, यानी हम अपने पुरुषार्थ, अपनी क्षमताओं और अपने संकल्प से अपनी डेस्टिनी को के डिजाइन की ओर आगे बढ़ें, उसका निर्माण करें। हमारी डेस्टिनी है आने वाले 25 वर्षों में दुनिया की टॉप इकोनॉमी बनना। हमारी डेस्टिनी है कि साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी सुपर पावर बनना। अमृतकाल ही इसके लिए सर्वोत्तम काल है और आप जैसे युवा ही देश की डेस्टिनी के सर्वोत्तम डिजाइनर हैं।
Manthan 2023 will provide an overview on the future vision and the next initiatives of IDEX to galvanize the startup ecosystem to foster innovation and technology development in the defence sector. The first Agriculture Deputies meeting, a three-day event, will conclude today in Indore. Around 100 delegates from G20 member countries, guest countries and international organizations are participating in the meeting. Day 3, that is today, is dedicated to the deliberations on the key deliverables of Agriculture Working Group. It is a technical session with roundabout discussions and participation from all concerned members and international organizations. DD India correspondent Aditya Srivastav gives us more details.
It is the last day of first Agriculture Deputies meeting of Agriculture Working Group. Focus is on food security, food chain, digitalization in agriculture. For 3 days, delegates coming from G20 countries are seriously discussed on the future of agriculture in Indore. India has also been seriously working on those issues discussed for last 7 to 8 years. But it will very clear this meeting has set the tone for upcoming meetings. With camera person Pradyum Dubey, Aditya Srivastav, DD India, Indore.
At first, G20 Agriculture Deputies meeting, Joint Secretary to the Ministry of Agriculture, Praveen Kumar, informed about major agendas listed for today's meeting.
आज का जो दिन है उसमें 4 अहम मुद्दे हैं जिसके ऊपर डिस्कशन होगा। पहला मुद्दा ये डिस्कशन होगा कि कृषि को सतत कैसे बनाएं, सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर और क्लाइमेट स्मार्ट अप्रोच। दूसरा अहम मुद्दा है फूड सिक्योरिटी एंड न्यूट्रिशन, उसके ऊपर भी काफ़ी चर्चाएं होंगी और जो विभिन्न अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संस्थाएं हैं जैसे FAO हो गया, वर्ल्ड फूड प्रोग्राम हो गया, उनके भी प्रतिनिधि आए हुए हैं, वो भी अपना ओपिनियन बताएंगे इसमें एंड डेलिब्रेशन विल बी देयर। तीसरा जो अहम मुद्दा है एग्री वैल्यू चेन्स, क्योंकि एट द एंड ऑफ द डे फार्मिंग में आपको कैसे हायर इनकम्स फार्मर्स को देने हैं, वही हमारा लक्ष्य है। तो एग्री वैल्यू चेन्स के ऊपर भी काफ़ी डिस्कशन होगा। और लास्ट मुद्दा जो है डिजिटलाइजेशन फॉर एग्रीकल्चर ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन।
On the occasion, James Martin Stapleton from International Food Policy Research Institute said that the meeting would draw framework on bringing together the G20 countries and push forward for nutrition security.
Rather than maybe the conclusions yet, I think we still have a lot of discussion to go. What I could speak to you about what we hope come out of the conclusions, particularly this morning, so a real clear framework on how the G20 countries can come together and really push forward food and nutrition security and to move past the decisions that we've made in the past. There's a real opportunity to identify some of the areas where the G20 can add value, bringing countries, the largest economies of the world together, and really be very precise about how we can monitor food insecurity, bring that information together for joint action and really develop those coordinated plans that can bring greater food security to people around the world.
Plenary sessions continue on day 3 of the first Digital Economy Working Group meeting in Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. Deliberations continue at the meeting on digital public infrastructure, their common building blocks and the crucial role in inclusive growth and sustainable development. At the meeting, the G20 delegates are getting an opportunity to understand and experience India's digital innovation transforming lives. Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra is on a 2-day visit to Bangladesh beginning today. During his visit, Foreign Secretary will hold the Foreign Office consultation. The Foreign Secretary is set to discuss the entire range of bilateral relationship, including political and security, water, trade and investment, power and energy, defense, connectivity and sub-regional cooperation. He will also call on Bangladesh Foreign Minister Dr. A.K. Abdul Momen and pay a courtesy call on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina during his official visit. This is the first visit of Vinay Quatra to Bangladesh after taking over as Foreign Secretary in May last year. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar is currently in Fiji to attend the 12th World Hindi Conference. Today, after attending the conference, the minister met Deputy Prime Minister of Fiji, Biman Prasad, in Nadi shortly after their meeting in New Delhi. The two leaders discussed further advancing our long-standing ties through development cooperation. Earlier, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, along with Fiji President, released a postal stamp and launched 6 books at the 12th World Hindi Conference. The 2-day-long conference in Nadi, Fiji is being organized by the Ministry of External Affairs. in collaboration with the government of Fiji. Addressing the gathering, Dr. S. Jaishankar, marking his first visit to Fiji, highlighted that the conference is being organized with the aim of promoting Hindi as a language globally. Along with this, he said that he will discuss the status and impact of Hindi in Fiji and the Pacific region.
विश्व हिंदी सम्मेलन जैसे आयोजन में स्वाभाविक है कि हमारा ध्यान हिंदी भाषा के विभिन्न पहलुओं, उसके वैश्विक उपयोग और प्रचार प्रसार पर रहे। वास्तव में यही वो विषय हैं जिन पे अगले कुछ दिनों में हमारा ध्यान केंद्रित रहेगा। हम फिजी और प्रशांत क्षेत्र तथा गिरमिटिया देशों में हिंदी की स्थिति और आईटी, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, सिनेमा और साहित्य के हिंदी पर प्रभाव जैसे कई मुद्दों पर चर्चा करेंगे।
Fiji President William Katuniawere also emphasized that this forum celebrates the enduring strength of the historic association between India and Fiji. He also underlined that artificial intelligence helps languages to grow and flourish.
When it comes to entertainment, Bollywood movies are the favorite Fijians love to watch. Bollywood films accompany sing-alongs, laughter and dance. Language plays a pivotal role in preserving culture as it establishes a distinctive linguistic identity that brings a feeling of belonging, mutual respect and trust in each other. Hindi, traditional knowledge to artificial excellence, intelligence and trust, speaks to the importance of preserving culture and language to adapt to the realities of the 21st century.
Marking the occasion, a postal stamp was also jointly launched by External Affairs Minister and the Fiji President. The logo of the World Hindi Conference is engraved on the stamp, issued in collaboration with Fiji Post. Also, 6 books including Gagnachal, Arambika of ICCR were released during the conference. The 12th World Hindi Conference that is in progress in Fiji. And also in Fiji, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar visited the Sri Seva Subramanya Swami Temple in Nadi and had a darshan. Along with his parliamentary colleagues, the minister could see firsthand India's vibrant culture and traditions flourishing in Fiji. Income tax survey operation at the premises of BBC in Delhi and Mumbai continued overnight and are still underway. According to the sources, IT officials are understood to be making copies of electronic and paper-based financial data of the organization. The tax department had launched the action on Tuesday at BBC's Delhi and Mumbai offices, along with at least 2 linked premises as part of an investigation into alleged tax evasion against the British broadcaster in India. The world's longest river cruise, MV Ganga Vilas, progressed towards Bangladesh's Chilmari River port to spend its last day in the country tomorrow. MV Ganga Vilas was flagged off by Prime Minister Narendra Modi from Varanasi. The cruise will return to India to reach its final destination, Assam's Dibrugarh. Earlier on Tuesday, the Swiss tourists made a stopover in Sirajganj. They visited a 3rd century-old Hati Kumrul Noburatna temple. The tourists also travelled to Lungi Gamcha Handloom Weaving Centre in the nearby villages. A quick short break ahead. Stay with us.
As the day unfolds and news and events take shape, we get you complete coverage of every news breaking in, tracking new developments as they happen. Midday Prime English, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. on DD India. The changing world of news. Headlines that you wake up to. News that shapes your day. stories that matter to you, the latest and most accurate updates, a fresh start to a new day. The Breakfast News, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. on DD India. Your window to rising India. India's voice on global platforms. Latest news from India and around the world. In-depth analysis of global headlines. Watch DD India in your country. Available for downlink in Central Asian countries. STTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 17 at 93.5 degrees east. HDTV broadcast is available through the satellite GSAT 10 at 83 degrees east. For technical details, scan here. Switch to DD India now.
Welcome back after the break. The combined death toll from Turkey, Syria's catastrophic quake, topped 41,000 with over 89,000 injuries. The catastrophic quake that unleashed series of horror last week destroyed homes, displacing more than 24 lakh people in both the countries amid freezing cold weather. Rescuers continued search for survivors even as the hope fades away. Security situation remains dire in Turkey, with business owners emptying their shops to prevent their merchandise from being stolen by looters in wake of earthquakes. Meanwhile, drone footage shot over Turkey's Kahramanmaraş showed construction machinery clearing rubble from the buildings that collapsed due to the earthquake. In a bid to provide relief to earthquake-ravaged Syria, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres announced on Tuesday the launch of a UN $397 million humanitarian appeal for the country. The Secretary-General also emphasized on the importance of aid getting through from all sides and all routes. He also said that the appeal would cover a period of 3 months. He said similar appeal for Turkey is also in the final stages.
I'm announcing that the United Nations is launching a $397 million humanitarian appeal for the people of earthquake-ravaged Syria. And this will cover a period of 3 months. We are in the final stages of a similar appeal for Turkey. In the immediate aftermath of the earthquakes, the United Nations rapidly provided $50 million through the Central Emergency Response Fund. But the needs are immense. The Syria effort brings together the entire UN system and humanitarian partners, and will help secure desperately needed life-saving relief for nearly 5 million Syrians, including shelter, healthcare, food and protection.
Shifting focus to Russia-Ukraine war now, Ukraine urgently needs more military aid, the United States and NATO said on Tuesday, pledging that Western support will not falter in the face of a new Russian offensive as the war was about to mark the first full year since it began. The acceleration of military support to Ukraine was also expressed on the first day of the 2-day meeting of NATO defense ministers that is underway in Brussels. In his opening remarks, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg noted the urgency of delivering key capabilities to Ukraine before Russia can seize the initiative on the battlefield. Asserting that Moscow underestimated Ukraine's bravery and NATO's unity, the NATO chief said that support for Ukraine will be stepped up and sustained for as long as it takes.
Putin made 2 big strategic mistakes. He underestimated the strength and the bravery of the people of Ukraine and its armed forces, and he underestimated the unity and resolve of NATO and partners. NATO allies are providing unprecedented support to Ukraine to help uphold its right of self-defense. And from the start, we have been working very closely with the European Union, determined to support Ukraine for as long as it takes.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Tuesday that the situation on the front lines in Donetsk and Luhansk remained particularly difficult. Ukraine's military said on Tuesday that its forces had repelled attacks in 5 settlements in Luhansk and 6 in Donetsk, including around Bakhmut, over the past 24 hours.
As every day I was in touch with our military, our commanders. I had a few meetings. The situation on the front line, especially in Donetsk and Luhansk regions, remains very difficult. The battles are literally for every foot of Ukrainian land.
The US hasn't seen any evidence that the 3 objects shot down since Friday over the US and Canada airspace were part of China's spy balloon program. Those searchers have yet to recover debris from them. According to the White House, the search for the remnants of the objects is hampered by the remoteness of the search area and the frigid conditions there. Following a classified briefing on Tuesday in the US Senate, senators said the objects appear to have posed no threat. Meanwhile, House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre on Tuesday said that the White House is sharing as much information as they can about the recent objects shot down in the US and Canada skies. Assuring the Americans that there is no need to panic, she said that the Biden administration is doing everything possible.
And look, the president is taking this very seriously, and he's receiving briefings regularly from his national security advisors, and he's going to continue to do that. We are sharing as much information as we can, as possible, but we do want to make sure that the American people understand that there's no need to panic. The president took this action, as I mentioned earlier, because the objects were indeed flying at lower elevation, and they were in civilian airspace, and we wanted to make sure that we protected that airspace. But again, we want to also make sure that the Americans are not do not panic during this time.
In the wake of latest mass shootings at Michigan State University, where 3 were killed and 5 were injured, U.S. President Joe Biden called for the action to stop gun violence on Tuesday. Speaking at a keynote address to the National Association of Counties Legislative Conference in Washington, Biden said these shootings are a family's worst nightmare. Monday's shootings came a day before the 5-year anniversary of the Valentine's Day massacre at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, which left 17 students and teachers dead.
Families of Michigan State University. Last night I spoke with Governor Whitmer, and the FBI and additional federal law enforcement are on the ground assisting the state and local folks, and 3 lives have been lost and 5 seriously injured. And it's a family's worst nightmare. It's happening far too often in this country. While we gather more information, there's one thing we do know to be true. We have to do something to stop gun violence ripping apart our communities.
In New Zealand, Cyclone Gabrielle weakened on Wednesday after dumping heavy rains and flood across the country. New Zealand authorities have begun gauging the damage caused by the significant flooding, landslides and also high winds. The cyclone claimed 3 lives and displaced thousands from their homes. The authorities estimated more than 10,000 people have been displaced so far. The residents in hard-hit areas are now being asked to conserve water and food because of the fears of shortages after the cyclone forced New Zealand to declare a national state of emergency for only the 3rd time in its history. All right, on to sports now. Having got the better of Pakistan in the lung opener, India would endeavour to put up an improved bowling show against West Indies in their 2nd Women's T20 World Cup match in Cape Town today. The Indian batswomen, without vice-captain Smriti Mandhana, managed to complete their highest successful chase in the T20 World Cup in the win against Pakistan. Mandhana missed the tie against Pakistan owing to a finger injury, but the star opener is likely to be back in the team against the West Indies, who are coming off a big loss against England, as she came through a pre-match training session unscathed. India bowling coach Troy Cooley is hopeful that Mandhana will be fit to make her first appearance in the tournament. All right, that's it in this edition of the news. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.